Hi, I'm Mara Webster with In Creative Company, and I'm so excited today to be joined by the wonderful Max Greenfield and Betsy Brandt to talk all about their latest movie, The Valet. And Max, starting with you, I was really interested in the conversation that you had with Richard Wong, who's the director of the film, early on, in terms of making a character decision that he really had to be in love with both of these women and genuinely not understand why he can't have all of these things, because he is someone who's so accustomed to getting everything that he wants in the world. And I was really interested in how that central choice for you really shaped so many other elements of who this character was going to be in the film.
Sure. I play confused really well. It's sort of a natural state of being for me. I'm maybe halfway joking. And so I really did think, because Richard, was so smart. And when we met on the film, he was like, how can we do this in a different way? And so I sort of pitched him that idea. And I think part of the reason why I pitched him that is because comedically, you want to keep this funny. I think that confusion led to some, led to some really good comedy, because ultimately I think this guy feels like the victim of this story.
Absolutely. And for you, Betsy, this film is so much about different characters who don't feel seen in their own world. And for your character, she's not only not being seen by her husband in their relationship, but it also feels like because of the work that he does and because he's very front facing, that she's also being seen by other people through the lens of him as well. And so how did you want to create and shape that arc for her, really kind of coming into her own a lot more and being recognized for herself more?
Well, it's funny. I mean, these two, they don't want or need to be seen in the same way. And I feel like that can make Catherine seem very generous. And I love that about her. I also love that ultimately she's like, I don't need to be seen and get credit for everything, but I do need to be respected and seen and get credit for some things. And that, like what you're doing, I can do that too. And I felt like it was, sometimes I think we get to see people grow up once they, are at a different place in their life.
Absolutely. And, we're meeting this couple at a point of infidelity and mistrust within their relationship. But obviously there was like a real spark and romance that brought them together initially. And so how did the two of you collaborate together to really figure out a lot of those details of what did their relationship look like before they ended up in this particular space that we meet them in the film?
Mara, do you have an accent?
I do, yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from England, but live in New York with a Texas mom and a Scottish dad.
I hear the Scottish a little bit.
I heard
it's really pretty.
Yeah. Do you try and keep it down a little? Or you like, let's put it out there?
It's just how it comes out, about 5 different accents in every sentence.
I loved it.
You could be a spy.
No.
You could be. She might be, and we don't know. She might be very good. I think that Vincent really respects Catherine, even though he's doing what he's doing. I think there's a certain amount of respect there.
No, I think he was in love with both of the women.
I agree. I think for me, as a person, I know intent counts for a lot. Whether it's good or bad, that counts for a lot. And I honestly believe you pulled it off. That I'm like, he was genuine in.
Well, I think what we really wanted to do was, because you have Eugenio in the film and he sets the tone of this whole thing. He's so brilliant, and having watched what he started to do with his character, you're like, oh my God, he's playing it so grounded. Obviously from past work, how much heart and joy he brings to everything he does. And you go, well, if the Vincent character is too harsh and you just play him like evil or whatever it is, you're going to hate him so much. And it's going to take away from Sam's character, because you're like, then, well, why is Sam with this guy? Yeah. And so you had to sort of play this idea that if Sam's character is going to be with this guy, you've got to see something within him that is redeemable, because if not, it takes away from who she is.
And in terms of that middle ground as well, the film does such a great job through your performances of finding that middle ground of where the comedy can kind of push itself a little bit further, but still feels very grounded through character throughout the movie. What was that journey of everybody really finding the comedic tone and finding the sensibility to make sure that not only were the performances all on the same page, but also that it always had that really grounded element of character throughout?
I mean, I think the biggest part of that really was, like Max said, it's Eugenio really set the tone, and just in seeing the work he was doing, like, oh, okay, I know. All right. This is what this is. That's what we're doing. And Richard Wong, I mean, God, he's good. He's such a great director, and just, he has a clear vision. He knows what he wants, but he also is open, and he was just absolutely wonderful.
Is there a difference that it creates when you're working on a set like that, where you have a director that, has a safety net for you so that you can try different things, you can push things comedically, and you always know, even if a particular direction fails, that there's that safety net to go back and try something different?
I mean, it sure makes you sleep better at night because it's going to be good. We all want it to be good. We want it, we put a lot into it. You want it to be good. And I felt like we knew that with him, like like without a doubt, like instantly, like he's got this, he's got this. And he's also just really funny, and it was incredibly fun to do.
And Max, for you, was it also important for Vincent that he believes the truth of everything that he's saying? Because even when he's talking to Olivia and he's telling her that he's going to leave his wife, that feels very true. And again, like you were saying, because he is genuinely in love with both of these women, when he's having conversations with his wife about, their relationship dynamic, he also believes that to be true in the moment. And so did you really feel that he was ever actively lying, or he really believed that he was telling the truth throughout?
No, I think we and Richard and I talked about this. Yeah. It really was, he's in whatever moment he's living in. And so when he was with Betsy's character or he's with Sam's character, that's who he's with.
Really, even in the breakfast scene, you're not just like trying to hang on. I want to listen to you. I want to hear you. I can't talk about that right now. Really? Did he really believe that? Really, Max? Really?
Because he was being pulled into. Well, I think it's interesting because at the very end of the movie, when he's really faced with both of them, is when you can see the wheels are coming off, and I think that's what sets the story here is everything was going fine, and then all of a sudden worlds collide, and it really is about trying to keep these wheels on the car.
It is. And Betsy, within that, one of the aspects that I really enjoyed with your character is that it never becomes about, the other woman becoming the enemy.
Yeah.
It's, the guy in the middle is the one who's playing deceptively on both sides.
Yeah.
And was that something that was really clear to you from the script because of where the story
really
goes?
Important. I right off the bat, when I first met Richard Wong before we started and we were talking about it, I said, I really, really, really don't want her to just be bitter, angry woman who's, out to get this other woman. Because it's not really about that. It's really about the guy and my marriage. I mean, right? I'm not married to Olivia. I'm married to this guy. And I didn't want to do that. I think, they're more powerful together.
Absolutely. And also within all the things that he tells her in their relationship when he's trying to cover things up, there's just always this voice at the back of her head and this really strong gut instinct, even when she's had a PI be like, no, they spent the night together. This relationship's real. She's like, I know that you're telling me that, but something still just doesn't ring right for me.
Even though she says, I really want to believe you because it's so much easier. And wouldn't it be nice if I really could believe him? But I think there were probably a lot of times she didn't listen to her gut, and in the movie she does.
Yeah. Did you view that kind of gut instinct for that as coming from a place of previous mistrust in their relationship, or that this was kind of the first time that it was really stemming together for her in that way?
I think a little bit of history in their relationship. It does, that kind of stuff usually doesn't come out of nowhere. But also, I think just as being a woman, and there are plenty of times where people are like, oh, no, this is fine. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if it is. And there are a lot of times, especially when I was younger, I didn't listen to that voice, I'm like, oh, I guess I am probably being crazy about this. And then it turns out rarely is that true. So I feel like listen to your gut.
And obviously one of the things about playing a relationship dynamic on screen like this, where they've been together for a significant amount of time, is that shorthand that exists within the relationship, the things that they don't even need to say out loud to each other, because that's the way that they communicate and they've already had those conversations. And so for the two of you, what was the shorthand that you wanted to find within the relationship in that way?
I mean, I just wanted I wanted it to be believable, that they were comfortable with each other and that there was a history there, which I think we had. I think we did that very well. But Mac's really easy. Max is really easy. So it was,
difficult. She's being nice. I'm very difficult.
He didn't yell at me that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's right. Thank you for saying that.
Only on Tuesdays.
Only on Tuesdays.
Yeah. And if that footage ever comes out, look, really damaging to the film.
I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Please. I can't believe you brought it up to begin with. No, I think you try to go into playing married is tough, because usually what happens is you show up on set and you're like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. And then they're like, action. So luckily, Betsy's, like you said, pretty easy.
It was easy.
And you've tried to find a rhythm, and then once you get into that rhythm, you just try to bring that into what you're doing.
I think when I was younger in my career, like the first few times you're like faking a long relationship, it's like, but you get better at it. I know how to keep a screen marriage together.
I mean, Max was bringing up the rhythm that the two of you found together. What was that particular rhythm and dynamic in terms of the conversations that you would maybe have before going into shooting in a scene, or really just kind of finding it in the moment once the cameras were rolling?
I mean, the script has a certain, the writing is really good. And so the script has a certain rhythm, but there's also, I think, a balance of energy with these two. And I felt like we were able to kind of hear what that was and see.
Betsy does something my wife does, which is really scary, which is she reacts to certain things and just goes, huh. And then she just has like these little noises that act as reactions to ideas that I might have, which,
well, that's my way of telling you how I feel.
And then you're like, then it leaves you with all the terrifying thoughts that you think that she might be thinking, which I think really worked. I don't know if any of those actually made it into the movie, but I felt it the whole time. And I was like, I know this relationship. Yeah.
And one of the scenes, Max, that I wanted to ask you about playing was that moment where they're all at the premiere, and essentially, you're trying to have an entire conversation and dialogue with Samara's character, but they can't actually say anything out loud because Eugenio and Betsy's characters are both there as well. So they're surrounded. And I was interested in how you approached a scene like that, where it's so much about the comedic play of the subtext.
Oh, that was fun. That was fun.
I think that was the first scene that I don't know if but I shot on the movie. And that was fun just because I remember doing a million different things in that.
Yeah.
And just trying to figure out what is all this? What is happening here? And trying to get a vibe on Eugenio and what he was doing, and try to fit into, again, whatever the story was that he was telling. It's
so hard not to laugh when you see him, when he's working, because he's so funny. I also loved that, my character, I want to do a somewhat of a shot over the bow with, and feel that out, suss out what's happening with Olivia, with Sam's character. But no way do I want to show all my cards. So like that's fun for me. That was really fun. Really, really fun.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great scene, and I really enjoyed your performances throughout the film. So thank you so much to both of you for talking about it. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice
You were lovely.